All right, guys, it's been a little while since we've done this. Been months, actually, since I last did this with a save, but I did think that it was probably best to go through and look at what happened really quickly in the World Cup, which was just held in-game. There's going to be a spoiler here from the start, so I'm not even going to pretend. We'll just go straight after it, and I'll show you what's going on. Spain won the World Cup, so you can see that right up here if your monitor is big enough and if the video is clear enough. It might not be. Group A was Netherlands that went through, as well as Senegal. Interesting to see Senegal go through. Group B, it was England and the USA. There's no question about that. Wales, interestingly enough, they decided not to go with Ryan Giggs for whatever reason. Group C, it was Argentina and Mexico. No big surprise there. Group D, it was France and Australia, interestingly enough. I'm not sure if Denmark had any like really crazy legendary players. I'm also not quite sure what like the best way is to go about like figuring that out, but whatever. We're not going to worry about that too much. It was then Spain and Germany, of course. Again, not really much of a surprise. As far as Japan is concerned, by the way, Japan does have, oh no, it does not. They're all like grayed out players. Interesting. I was going to say, we do have the Japanese player pack on here, but I think the game is hardwired so that this will be grayed out. Same thing with Germany, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, Germany is also all a bunch of grayed out players, so which is kind of cool actually, because if you get legendary German players in your team, they don't have to go play with the national team. Interesting, and that's what we like to see. Croatia and Belgium, Serbia, Switzerland, and then Portugal and Uruguay. What happened to Brazil? What happened to Brazil? How come I'm not seeing them here? Yeah, Brazil lost out. Brazil wound up not advancing. They lost to Cameroon 3-0. That's interesting. And this Brazil team should have a number of like incredible, legendary players, right? Pele, Carlos Alberto. Let's see if we can find out. Zizinho is always one that when I played with his Legends database, he's always one that like gives me nightmares. This guy's really good. This is the guy that Pele thought that was the best striker of all time. And even with a team like that, and Bauer, of course, we know about him. Even with a team like this, Brazil still lost 3-0 to Cameroon, and then beating Serbia was not enough. Serbia still went forward. I don't suppose that there's a way that I can view highlights of this. Yeah, let's go ahead and see. We'll just take a look at this really, really quick. I won't take too much of your time up here with looking at too many of these insane performances, but you can see, I think Brazil's biggest problem was poor defense. Yeah, that was Toko Ekambi who scored. And so you can see here, they're playing a pretty... I would say pretty wide open attacking game. This isn't a whole bunch of like cheap goals or own goals or something that they're getting. Brazil was just outpaced and outclassed, and so they lose that one 3-0. If we go look here quickly at the player statistics for Brazil, yeah, man, poor matches all across. Now you look though at some of the players who were on the bench. I mean, Pele, I'm guessing, was probably overused. Casemiro was on the bench. Marquinhos was on the bench. Anyway, it was not an excellent performance here by a team that really should have done a lot better, as Zizinho did manage to get on for a little while. And I did want to see, let's see here. So they drew against Switzerland, so we're not going to worry about that too much. I did just want to see here in this match, yeah, it was Vinicius Junior and Rafael who scored. I'm not certain that Pele even played, and it might be that he was suffering from something, or it might be that he was just too tired after spending all this time with us. Oh no, he did play. He got the player of the match with 1 assist. So he did show up and play, but it wasn't enough to get Brazil over to the next round. And I just clicked the wrong button, but it's all right. We'll go back here. Look again at the next stage. So let's see what happens here in the second round of this cup. If there's anything that's really amazing that stands out. 2 different penalty shootouts. Uruguay beat Serbia in a close match, and the rest of it was probably not really all that close. Netherlands-USA match looks pretty interesting, 3-1. I don't think the USA have any legendary players, which I think is part of the problem. We go over to the quarterfinals, and this is sort of what it looks like. Portugal and Germany look like they had an all-timer, and England, so we'll look quickly at this England squad. England squad is like chock full of legends, and is a very, very good team. Let's see. It's not what I wanted to look through. Let's see if we can find somebody good. I mean, some of these players, it's kind of hard for me to tell who is older, who is not. But yeah, Duncan Edwards, Barbie Charlton, Jimmy Greaves, who's another player we've been looking at. We're not going to be able to afford him, and they're just not going to sign him or not going to sell him. Bobby Moore, another player I suppose we could be looking into. Also a player we probably can't afford for the time being. Doesn't look like he wants to come over either. But, a bunch of really, really good young players here on this England squad. They beat Mexico 1-0. And when we go here to the semifinal, they lost to Portugal in a match that was probably really, really, really difficult. Probably a fun match for neutrals to watch, I guess. Eusebio, of course, the Portuguese legend, was playing there. Who does he play for here? He plays for Benfica. I'm thinking this is another player you might want to get. In fact, we should probably fully scout this player and at least be aware of him and how he's rated. So overall, I'm not going to get that. It's probably a spam call. Overall, interesting and good match by a very good team. Argentina lost here to Spain as well, and another one that was probably filled with legendary players. Just take a quick look and see what the Argentina team looked like. Maradona was playing for them. I'm guessing that Messi in game is probably too young to be on it. Anyway, whatever happened, it wasn't quite enough for them to move forward. And so Argentina ended up losing here, and Spain wins the final over Portugal 2-1. We'll take a quick look at this and sort of see what it was like. So it ends up being sort of a more traditional end to the World Cup. So much for having, like Jamaica or somebody win it. That happens usually in Football Manager after you've given it a little bit of time. That was a pretty good pass over everybody's head to Ramos for the first goal. Looks like Spain then came back pretty quickly for two more. And this was a very, very late winner for Rodrigo and for Spain, and that did it. So there you have it. That's kind of what the World Cup looked like. I was really curious about what happened because when I was playing through the stuff in between, Pele came back like all of a sudden, as did a couple of other players who surprised me. And yeah, it turned out that some of the players, some of the teams that I thought were going to do really well in the World Cup ended up not doing as well as I thought. So that happens from time to time, and there you have it. Now, I do wonder what the World Cup is worth, in this world. I mean, because when we look at, our competition, so you have this big Premier League that's the best teams in the world. The FA Cup will also be the best teams in the world. This Champions League, of course, is always the best teams in the world. And then this will also be basically the best teams in the world, right? Why even hold the World Cup? These are all of your World Cups, right? But you might as well, I guess. Pele, by the way, now the top goal scorer for us after scoring 5 in that last match. I wouldn't suppose that he'd be the top goal scorer in the lead. No, it's Haaland who's got 22. Pele's going to have to do a couple of those to get up to that place. And you wouldn't suppose this guy would be able to come over, would you? So we will scout him and take a look. Anyway, that's what it was like. That's what we're looking at. And I will talk with you again tomorrow, and we'll have another match for you. See you then. Bye.